So I'm just running the script here. Just give me a couple of minutes. Sudo hyphen a. So in last session, we have done a manual method of installation, right? So in today's class, I'm going to run a script. That script is going to set up the Kops entirely. But the only thing I want to change is bucket name. Why? Because this bucket name, once if you create this bucket, you cannot reuse the name. So I'm adding some additional names for my bucket. So 7788. And first of all, I'm editing a file. .bash rc. Yeah, please. In .bash rc, you are going to edit this line. Export path is equal to dollar path user local bin. Run source.bash rc. It will be fine. Now run the script sh kops.sh. So now the cluster is creating itself, sir. Yep. So now here cluster is starting. It should be ready in few minutes. If you want to see what is running behind the scenes, you need to give the command kops validate cluster. What going to give? Kops validate. But if I give this one, remember, you can get this error. Whenever you are seeing failed state store, whenever you are seeing failed state store, export the command one more time. Cat kops.sh. Run this command one more time. When you get the error state store, so run the kops state store of your bucket. Now it will work. Now see, it will take 5 minutes of time. So wait for 5 minutes exactly. It will be ready. Already we discussed the Kops scaling, Sunil Kumar. Have we discussed Kops scaling? I think you missed it in last session. No, I'm not teaching anything, Varsha. I'm just waiting for cluster to ready. Okay. Is your cluster ready now? So then we can start. So what is the command to get the cluster? Tell me the command to get the cluster. Kops get cluster. Kops. So if we want to get the nodes, kubectl get envo. Remember, Kops command is for cluster management. Kubectl command is for resource management. Have you wrote this point in last day? Okay, fine. You know metric server, right? You know metric server. What is the purpose of using installing metric server? To see utilization of your resources. In last class, which topic we have ended with? Kubernetes services done, right? So in today's session, first of all, I'm going to teach you about Kubernetes. Like it's not a part of your syllabus, but I'm teaching some additional stuff for you, okay? Ingress node. First of all, I'll start the concept about this one. What we call config map and secrets. What we are going to discuss about? Sir, config map and secret main purpose is to pass the variables for your resource. For example, if I have a pod, for that pod, if I want to pass any input in the form of variable, so I can use the concept called config maps and secrets. Which concept I can use? So let's understand how to work with the config map and secret. First, go for the theoretical point of view, and then let's see the practical how it is going to work. Remember, it's an additional concept for you, okay? And after that, I'll tell you how to auto scale pods also. We have seen auto scaling of cluster, right? But I'm going to tell you how to auto scale the pods itself. That means pods itself is going to automate. See, first of all, environment variables. What is the meaning of environment variables? All of you know about environment variables, right? It is a way of passing configuration information for the containers running within the pod. Okay. To set the environment variables, it include env or env from field. That means for a pod, if I want to pass environment variables, how many ways I can pass? Two ways. You can pass from env or you can run from env from. Env is to pass the values directly, environment variables. Now, sir, if I want to pass the variables in a file format, I can use env from. Again, env for direct value passing, env from passing a file. Is it clear now? Fine. So this is the lengthiest. Env allow you to set the environment variable for a container specifying value directly. Specifying a value directly. But env from allow you to set the environment variable for a container by referring either config map or secret. When you use env, all of the key value pairs are referred in the config map and secret are set as env variable for the container. You can also specify a common prefix string for it. Simple direct value if you want to pass, you can use env. No, sir, if I want to pass values on key value pair, like for example, I have the variables on a file. If that file I want to pass, I need to use env from. Env is to pass the values directly. Env is to pass the values from a file. We will discuss both. Okay. So now what exactly I'm going to do is here, first of all, you need to understand about what is the meaning of config map. Config map main purpose is to store the data in a key value pair. How the config map is going to store the data? Or in the form of command line arguments, use it for a pod. Containers and other resources inside a cluster. But the data should be non-confidential. Data should be what? But it does not provide any security and encryption. For example, if you go and see, it is a pod, sir. It is a, for this pod, if I want to pass env, environment variable, I can use env or I can use env from. If I want to pass only single value, direct use env. No, sir. If I want to pass multiple values, I can use env from. But whenever, if you are passing a value from the config map is going to pass the value from key value pair. Or you can pass the values from files, or you can pass the values from command line. But whatever the data you are passing, it should not be confidential. For example, if the data is confidential, it is going to expose. What is going to happen? Export. Here, we want to provide encryption. We are going to use secrets. Config map will pass the values only, but is it going to encrypt the values? No. For encryption, encryption not for encoding, which concept we are going to use here? Secrets. And config map should be only having the data of less than 1 MB. If the data is more than 1 MB, it should not be accepted. What is the maximum limit of config map, sir, in size of MB? If the configuration what you are passing is more than 1 MB, instead of using config map, we need to use volumes. What we need to use? When if the data is greater than 1 MB. So again, see. What is config map? Use it to pass the environment variables. Correct or not, sir? Environment variables you can pass from key value pair, you can pass from, and you can pass from CLA. So, but whatever the data you are passing, it should be on non-confidential. And is it providing any encryption? No. If you want to provide encryption, we use secret also. It won't provide encryption. It will provide encoding. What it is going to provide? What is the limit of config map? If it is more than 1 MB, we are going to use volumes. Is it clear, sir? No? Now in real time, where we are going to use the config map means to configure your applications, we can use, or to configure your pod, you can use, or sharing the data across multiple resources. For example, see, I have 10 pods. For these 10 pods, if I want to pass the same configuration, I can write a config map and I can attach to the 10 pods directly. Okay. And finally, in the form of config map, we can store data. For example, for my server, do you have public IP address? Do you have DNS for server? Do you have username and password? All this kind of data also we can store on the config map, sir. Where we can store? Simply, if in interview, they will ask you config map means tell them config map main purpose is to pass the environment variables. It can pass from values. It can pass like key value pair. It can pass from file. It can pass from command line also. What is the limit? If it is more than 1 MB, secrets, right? For example, if config map is going to provide any encryption for you, if you want to provide encryption, encryption will not be provided. We can like provide encoding actually. For encoding, we can use secrets. What we can use? Now let's see how I'm going to work for this. Sir, give the command kubectl create deploy. I'm creating a deployment. What I'm creating? What is the name of the deployment? And what is the image I'm taking? MariaDB. If I give the command kubectl get PO, you are going to get an error now. What happened here? I want to check why the error happened. So give the command kubectl logs and name of the pod. So now tell me what it is telling for you, sir. What it is telling? Read the error, man. It is telling that you need to specify at least one among them. You need to specify MariaDB root password or Maria root password hash or like root password or any other thing. Among them, you need to use at least one variable, but have a use variable for that. That is the reason why it is not accepting, sir. So now tell me, if I want to pass variables for either config map or secret, how many ways I have? Two ways. First one is env. Env means directly passing the value. Second one is env from. First of all, I'll show you how to pass the value directly. So give the command kubectl. I am setting an environment variable. What I am setting? For which one? For deployment. What is the name of the deployment? SwiggyDB. Correct or not, sir? So now right here, hyphen from. Hyphen. I am passing the value from environment. Environment means you can directly pass the value from key value pair. So type here MySQL root underscore password is equal to Raham123. For example, let's take. What is telling, sir? Wait. So here instead of what is telling again? Hyphen hyphen from is going to be not accepted. Why? Because there is a small issue. If you observe this command here, I'll tell you. So here directly whenever you are passing environment variable, have a mention hyphen hyphen from, sir. Not required, right? Why? Because already we discussed env we can pass directly without specifying any value. I said or not? Go to here. What I said here. If you want to pass from environment variables, specifying a value directly. Specifying a, but here we are using tags or not, sir? Due to these tags, it won't work. Remember, if you want to specify the value directly, do we need to use tags? No. That is flag actually, not tag, flag. Hit enter. The moment if you hit enter, automatically give the command kubectl get PO. Currently our pod status is, but previously it was fail. Why? Because previously there is the environment variable missing, sir, for MySQL. So we have provided the environment variable called MySQL root password raham123. Is it working now? So this is the way how you can pass the value directly. This is the way how you can pass the values. First method we have already seen. First method env directly passing the value. Second one is env from. Env from means you are going to pass the values from the file. So let's create a file. In that file, I am going to convert into config map. What I am going to convert into? And that config map I am going to attach to my server. But before that, is the concept clear for all of you? Everyone. First of all, I create a pod. Issue happen. Why issue happen? What is the error? No environment variable. Environment variable we pass it from the CLI or not, sir? So now this time I'm going to pass environment variable from the file actually. So delete the pod. Kubectl. Delete. Deploy. What is the name of the deploy? Swiggy DB. Is that gone now? Clear. Now again, create the deployment one more time. Create the deployment one more time. Kubectl create deploy. Name of the deployment Swiggy. Image MariaDB. Again you get the error or not, sir? Again you get the error. Or kubectl get deploy or kubectl get PO. Anything is fine. What you are getting here? Error. Why? Because you have the crash loop backoff. Crash loop backoff means shortcut CLBO. Crash loop backoff. That means whenever you are not passing any environment variable, you can get the crash loop backoff error. Which error, sir? Here again, do you have environment variable? No. Whenever if you get any issue with the pods, give the command kubectl log name of the pod. It's gone now. What happened to here now? You need to specify one of the passwords. Sir, previously set the environment variable directly, but now I am setting environment variable with the help of file. Correct or not, sir? So how to set it means, first of all, see here. I am directly passing the value. See, passing the value from a file. So here, first of all, create a file. VIM vars. Name of the file is vars. Username and password I am passing from a variable file. So now currently what I'm going to do, I am going to create this into config map. What I'm going to create this? Give the command kubectl. First of all, see get CM. Do you have any config map here? One config map will be there. It is by default config map for the Kubernetes service. It's not our config map. It is a Kubernetes default config map. So now how to create a config map? Kubectl create config map. You are creating config map from the file. Correct or not, sir? So whenever you are creating a config map from the file, just hyphen hyphen from env. From env means you are going to pass the value from the, already I said or not, sir? Env means direct value, but from env means file. So from env file, what is your name of the file? Something random name you can give. Hyphen hyphen from. What is the name of the file here? Vars. You can give whatever name you want. Oh, config map name I want to give. Wait. Config map name I'm going to give it as Raham. What is the name of the config map? Has it got created config map called Raham? Now give the command kubectl get CM. Have I got the config map called Raham now? If I want to get complete information, kubectl, which command I can use? Config map Raham. So for this config map, data you can see, right? MySQL root password is Raham123. MySQL user is admin. Is it providing data or not, sir? Now, first of all, I create a file. In this file, I put the variables. These variables I convert into config map. Now, this config map I am attaching for a pod. This config map I am attaching for a. How to attach config map for a pod means, again, use the command kubectl set env. Kubectl set env means setting environment variable. For which one? Deployment. What is the name of the deployment? SpeakyDB. Correct or not, sir? So now this time you are passing a file. So whenever you are passing a config map directly, you need to use hyphen hyphen from here. What we are using? Hyphen hyphen from. It's not required. I am passing the config maps. What is the name of the config map? Raham, right? Name of the config map. By using the kubectl, I am setting the environment variable for the deployment. For which deployment? Hyphen hyphen from. I am setting the environment variable from the config map called Raham. Is it applied now? Now go and give the command kubectl get PO. Previously it was crash loop backup, right? Is it working now? Why it is working now? Previously there is no environment variables, but have I set the environment variables or not, sir? In how many ways I said, sir? Two ways. First one is passing direct value from env. Second one is passing environment variable from the env from. Env from means we are going to use here file. What we are going to use here? So first method we have seen passing environment variable is from the config map. From in config map, can we pass environment variables? I've shown it practically for you. You got the clarity? Yes or no? So let's end the Kubernetes here. I think your concept is done, right? So I'm ending this one now. Kops, delete, cluster, hyphen hyphen name, Ramesh dot, AWS dot, local hyphen hyphen yes. So cluster has been deleted. Basically, this is the advanced topic, right? So it's done for you. So let's go for the AWS topics. Fine. So in AWS, I'm gonna teach you about S3 concept. Which concept it is? So let's start S3 now. Sunil, I'll tell you later, Sunil. Don't worry. For you, I'll tell you. So see here, what is S3? S3 means simple storage service. So the concept of S3 main purpose is to simple storage service. That means here we can store the objects. What we can store? So let's go and see. It is our bucket. In this bucket, what I can do is I can store the objects. Okay, what is the meaning of object? Object means it can be a file. It can be folder. It can be image. It can be audio. It can be video. Anything which is having the data is called as objects. So now the main purpose of this S3 bucket is whenever if you want to store anything which is consists of data, that is what we can call as object. Here you can store the object. Okay. So S3 full form is going to be simple storage service. What is the full form of S3? S3. Anything. But database won't store anything like S3 do. It is highly scalable, securable, and durable to store the data. That means here you can scale the data storage, you can secure it, you can durable for long lasting. So it's object level storage. That means already we discussed object means which is having any kind of data. So the main purpose of S3 is it is able to store the data as well as we can able to retrieve the data also. So based upon the storage and data, it can spread out to multiple regions. So data, whatever you store on one region, you can spread to multiple regions also. Customers of all size and industries can use Amazon S3 to store and protect amount of data for a range of costs. That means, see, whenever you are having big companies like Amazon, Flipkart, like Netflix, these people will have large amount of data. So if they want to store the data in a huge amount, they can use the buckets. Of course, for data storing, you can use also database, but there is a difference between database and buckets, which I'm going to tell you in upcoming days. Don't worry about that one. So here in S3, majorly we are going to create the buckets. What we're going to create? Bucket means in root level, if you create a folder, then that is what we call as bucket. So here, if you go to this Amazon S3, if you go to here, it's the root level folder. In root level folder, if you create anything to store the objects, then that is what we can call as buckets. So bucket main purpose is used to store the objects, and object ownership is not transferable. That means if I create a bucket with my name, I cannot be able to transfer it to some other name. After you create a bucket, you can't change it name or region. That means if I create the bucket once, we cannot change the bucket name, and the region is also not able to change. We cannot delete the bucket directly. We need to make it empty first. Okay. After the bucket is deleted, the name becomes available for reuse. See, I have the bucket. This bucket, if I want to reuse the same name, for example, name is ABC, for example, say. This name again I can't use. If I want to use, I need to delete this, and again, then only I can be able to use it. And once you create a bucket, the name cannot be changeable. The name cannot be changeable. Fine. So if I want to delete this bucket, for example, this bucket I want to delete. First of all, I need to make it is empty. Why? Because here I have a lot of files, folders, images, videos, everything will be there. So if I want to make it delete, first of all, I need to make it empty. What I'm going to make it as? And the minimum size to store is 0 bytes, and maximum we can store up to. That is the minimum and maximum storage for buckets, sir. And by default in AWS account, you can create 100 buckets for free. How many? But maximum, if you want to exceed the limit, you can go for 1000 buckets also. How many? So write this minimum and maximum storage. Minimum will be 0 byte, maximum will be 5 terabytes. What is the minimum storage? And maximum 5 terabytes. And how many buckets can we create by default in AWS account? But if you want to exit, what you can exit? Fine. So now S3 is simple storage service. In S3, we are going to create the bucket. Inside the bucket, we are going to store the object. What is the meaning of object? I already said. What is object, sir? Anything which consists of data. That is what we can call as object. Okay. It can be a file. It can be a folder. It can be image, it can be video, like it can be anything. The thing which is having data is what we can call as object. A bucket is a container for object. That means here you can store number of objects. An object in a file or can be metadata. That means object can be a file or data about file. It can be anything. It doesn't matter really. So with Amazon S3, you are going to pay what you use for. For example, if I use one bucket for 5 TB, I can only pay for 5 terabytes. Now, if I only use for 2 terabytes, I can only pay for 2 terabytes. That means how much you can use, that much only you are going to pay, sir. Pay as you go model means how much you are using. For that much only you are going to pay amount for it. Is it clear now? Fine. Fine. So now, what is the maximum size we can upload a object in the bucket? 5 terabytes. Minimum? 0. So object uploading can be multiple ways. I'll tell about this later, how to upload the object. But before that, let's understand what are the major components about the object. First of all, key. Key means name of the. Next one, value. Value means data in the size of bytes. Versioning ID. Versioning ID means for each and every file. That means for each and every object in our bucket, you have the different versions. Already know what is the meaning of versioning, right? What is versioning? If you delete an object, we can able to retrieve it. And finally, metadata. What it is? Metadata is nothing but data about data. What we are storing is called as metadata. Sir, if you want to create a bucket, there will be certain rules to follow while creating the bucket. Rule number 1 can be, first of all, name should be unique. Already I said bucket name should be, and bucket minimum characters will be 3, maximum will be, and bucket name should be lowercase only, and bucket should not be on IP format. For example, if you give the bucket name 192.11.0.3, it's not going to work for you. And bucket must begin and end with the number or letter. For example, if you give at the rate and name, it won't take. Special characters you can use for bucket, but not at the beginning, at the ending. Beginning must be a letter or number, ending must be also same thing. Again, what is the rule number one for bucket? Unique name. Rule number 2, name should be 3 to 63. And it can be lowercase only. Should not be on begin and end with number or letter. Basically, there is a note point before 2018. Before 2018, the buckets we created in Northern Virginia, US East 1. Maximum characters will be 255. What is the maximum character? And at that time, bucket name can also be an uppercase. Which case, guys? Uppercase. So what exactly happened, after 2018 March, they removed that feature. Bucket name should be 63 characters only, less than, as well as name should be on lowercase only. They removed the 2 features of uppercase as well as number of characters. But before 2008, do we have that feature or not, sir? For which region bucket? US East 1 bucket. Clear, no? Now go and let's create the bucket. Already these are my previous class buckets, okay? So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to delete all of these buckets. Why? Because to maintain some clarity for you. And there is a note point. Directly, we cannot delete the bucket. First of all, we need to make it empty. What is telling bucket is not? So go here. Empty all the buckets one by one, first of all. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to make it empty, all of them. And later we are going to delete it. And even if you use space, it is not going to enable here. Remove the space. Is it enabled now? I'm going to empty all of them and I'm going to delete them. Click on delete. So for delete, type the bucket name. As of now, I don't have any buckets here. So I'm creating the bucket very freshly. So click on create bucket. Bucket I'm creating on US East one. So bucket type I'm using for general purpose only. Okay, bucket name I'm gonna give Swiggy. Is it gonna accept the bucket name now? No. Why? Because it's on uppercase should not be used here. So I'm using Raham Swiggy dev bucket. Scroll down. Object ownership can be two things: disable and enable. Disable means nobody can able to access your objects. But if you click on enable, everybody from the cloud can able to access the objects. So I'm making here. Now people can be able to access the application bucket or not. No. And here block public access to the bucket. So I'm blocking all the public access. That means publicly nobody can able to access that one. Bucket version name, I'm going to make it as purpose of using versioning. For example, if you delete a file, automatically it is going to retrieve it. So tags, I'm not giving anything. Encryption, you have two types: server-side encryption and KMS. I'm going with server-side encryption only. Create bucket. Yes, Sunil, I'm going to show you how to replicate the data. So now if you go and see, click on this bucket name. Are you seeing upload option? Click on upload, add files. Here, just upload any files. So here it is the .csv file. It is text file. It is var file. Three different file types or not, sir? And remember, bucket can be supported by all the file types. So click on upload here. We store var file on Access, right? Instead of Nexus, you can store var file on S3 also. That is also fine. So this is CSV file. That means Excel. It is which file? It is which file? Three different file types, right? Or if I want to store some any other files, go here and try to upload some different files. Is it your like image or not, sir? Upload the image and go here. This time I'll upload the what file? Wait. I'll try to upload like PDF. Is it PDF or not, sir? Upload. Again, add file. This time I'll try to upload some different file. Log3, this text file. See this one? It is text file. It is document. Again, it is image format. Again, these three will have data. Is it uploading or not? So like this, we can able to upload the objects. Any object you can upload. Sir, not only files, you can also upload folder also. Click on upload folder. You can upload any folder you want. So go for Node.js. Inside this, I have a lot of files. I think all the files here. Files uploading or not, sir? So now here, by default, our bucket versioning is enabled. So what happen is, even though if I delete this file, type delete. What is going to happen? The file got removed, right? If you click on show versioning, seeing the file back here, again, you can be able to download to your local or not, sir. Download to local or not. That means even we can able to retrieve the objects whenever if you delete any object intentionally or unintentionally. What you can do is you can able to retrieve that object with the help of versioning. And second time also if you delete, like currently this file is on versioning. This file is on here also if you delete this file, now this you cannot able to retrieve, sir. Now you need to give permanent delete. For first time you will type delete only, but for second time you will type permanent delete. Close and go back. Are you seeing this file anymore? Can you able to retrieve this file anymore? No. So for the first time we can get delete. For second time we can get write this point all of you. So the bucket, if you delete the object first time, we can get delete. Second time we can get permanent delete. Is it clear now? Fine. So now, sir, here I have the bucket. So this bucket is having the data, right? So upload a one more file. I'll tell some real-time important tips and tricks for you. So just try to follow this one. So here I'm going to upload a key pair called dummy key. Which one? In this bucket, you are having lot of files or not, sir? For example, in real time, what happened? No, you will have some hundreds and thousands of a file inside the bucket. How many files? You want to see which file is having large size. Currently, what is the largest size in the entire bucket? Huh? I'm asking what is the largest size? Where file? How much it is? 8.2 MB, right? And after that, what is the largest file? 372. And after that, 116. Basically, you are going to see like this. Is it giving any proper value-wise list here? No. But if you click on size, double tap on it. Largest, second largest, third largest, fourth largest. The moment if you give double tap, it is going to arrange on order. If you give single tap, again from bottom to top, it will get. Clear? Like this. Sir, in my file, what is the last uploaded object here in this bucket? Dummy key, right? I want to see the objects in the time base. That means what time which object is uploaded. Again, go here and give double tap. What is the last uploaded object? Before dummy key, I upload this object. Before this object, I upload Nagios. Like this, I am getting the information or not, sir? If you want to filter, you need to double tap on this panel. What I need to double tap on? Again, name, I want an alphabetical ladder. But are you seeing alphabetical order here? No. Double tap on it. Are you seeing alphabetical order? No. Basically, it's from reverse. If you want top, just use single tap. Are you getting it perfectly? No. This panel will save a lot of time for you. It is going to arrange your objects on a structured format from top to bottom, bottom to top in alphabetical order, in the format of size, anything. Is it clear for you? Know? All in what about is the object uploading, deleting, and listing the objects. Clear for all of you? Can you please confirm me once? Clear, fine. Sir, currently I want to see what is the total size of this bucket. How can I see total size of a bucket? It's very simple. Select all of them. Go for actions. Are you seeing calculate total size? Click on this. Totally how many objects I have? What is total size here? Are you seeing the size for each and every object or not, sir? Like this. In this way, we can calculate the total size of a bucket. Fine then. For example, sir, here I have the bucket. I want to copy the file from one bucket to another bucket. Or if I want to move the file from one bucket to another bucket. For that purpose, we need to have destination bucket or not, sir? Create a new bucket. Create a. So this you can create on same region or different region. That doesn't matter. If you want to create on same region, go and create on same region. No, sir, if I want to create on some other region called Mumbai, just type AP South 1. Bucket name I am giving Raham Swiggy. Proud. What I am giving? Sir, already you gave settings for your previous bucket, right? If you want to copy the settings from one bucket to another bucket, click on copy settings from existing bucket. Click on choose bucket. I want to copy the settings from this bucket. Now, below all the settings, below from here to last, every setting will be copied from your previous bucket, sir. Now, in the production bucket, do I have any files here? No, right? I don't have any files. So, in that case, what I'm going to do, I'll go to Swiggy bucket, select this object. Here, go for action. You can see two things. First of all, copy, and second one, copy means object will be on both buckets. Move means object will be on one bucket. So I'll show you copy. Destination, you need to select the bucket here. Click on browse. Come back. Okay, come back here. Are you selecting this bucket Swiggy prod? Do we have any object as of now here? No, but the object will be copied there directly. Close. Go to the previous bucket. The object copied now. So let's do it one more time. Go to dev bucket. Now tell me I want to copy like Node.js folder. Select and go for action. Now click on copy. So scroll down here. I can use S3. Go back to the S3 bucket. So which bucket you want to copy? This bucket. Copy. It's copying. Wait. Is it done now? Click on close. Now check on your which bucket, sir? Production bucket. Which bucket? Have you got this on production bucket now? So this is the way how we are going to transfer the bucket from one bucket to another bucket. Fine. Sir, for example, for this bucket, versioning is enabled or disabled? Enable. If I want to disable, go for properties. Properties are seeing bucket versioning. Currently it is enabled, right? So if you want to make this disable, click on edit. Click on suspend. Remember, for bucket, you don't have disable option. You have suspend option only. Which option? Click on suspend. Click on save changes. Oh, wait. I need to check on this box. Now, what just happened here? Account got, sorry, bucket got versioning suspended. That means even if you delete the file, can you able to retrieve now? Can we check it? Go here and check. Go for object. What is asking? Delete or permanent delete? Basically, versioning is enabled. It will ask only delete. But now it is asking permanent delete means you cannot able to retrieve. Can go here and you can show versioning. Can we able to retrieve this one now? Yes or no? Yes, I will. Why? Because previously disabling the versioning, there is versioning enabled. So I can do it. You got the logic point? Versioning I suspended before object uploading or after object uploading? After object uploading, correct or not, sir? So that means even if you suspend now, that object will have the versioning. But whenever if you upload a new object, if you delete, it won't retrieve. You got the logic point? That's it. And again, if I want to enable, how can I enable? Again, go for property. In the property, I need to get edit. I need to click on. Now again, the bucket versioning is going to be enable. Okay, you can retrieve the objects normally. Write the note point. Once bucket versioning got disabled, we can only, sorry, one bucket version got bucket versioning, you cannot disable, you can only suspend. Bucket version you can't disable, you can only suspend. So gone now. So like that. So next here, I'm going to tell you a concept called CRR, cross region replication. Which one? But before that, let me delete both of these buckets. Bucket can I remove directly? First of all, we need to make it. Okay. So now I'm going to teach you a concept called cross region replication. Which one? I have a bucket and one more bucket. How many buckets I have here? First bucket is on. Second one, what I can do is I can send the data from US East 1 to AP South 1 by using copy. Which one? So now US East 1 is the bucket number 1 and AP South 1 is the bucket number 2. Whenever you upload any kind of object to this particular bucket, it is directly going to replicate to these what we can call as CRR. What we can call as cross region replication. That means whenever you upload any object on bucket 1, it is directly going to replicate to the bucket number 2. For that purpose, first of all, you need to create bucket. First bucket will be on some A region, second will be on some B region. Any region, it's fine completely. And for both of the buckets, you need to enable the versioning. What we need to enable? Without enabling the versioning, cross region replication is not possible. Click on create bucket. First one, I'm going to create a US East one. Bucket name, I'm going to give Raham Swiggy 1. What is the bucket name? And I'm creating this one. It is disable object ownership, bucket public access disable, and versioning will be create the bucket. Now, same like this bucket, I want to create one more bucket. But this time I'm creating the bucket on Mumbai. It is the name of the bucket. Oh, wait, sorry. What is the previous bucket name? Raham Swiggy, right? Raham Swiggy 1. But now this time I'm taking Raham Swiggy. I want to copy the settings. Already you know how to copy the settings, right? Now, how many buckets you created? Sir, whatever I said here is cross-region replication concept. Whenever if you upload object on bucket 1, it is going to replicate to. For that purpose, you need to go and configure on bucket 1. Where you need to configure on? So go for here bucket 1 and just type here, click on management. Are you seeing management? Are you seeing replication rule? This step-by-step process you can see here at the end of session, okay? Don't worry about this. I wrote it clearly here. Replication rule, just put rule number 1. You can write whatever rule you want. I'm putting here rule number 1. Status is currently my source bucket is this one. It's on which region? This is one. Okay. So apply this to all objects. Choose a rule to scope means it is telling that apply to all the objects. That means whatever the rule I'm sending to the bucket, that rule must be applied to all the objects inside the bucket. Destination currently is your bucket on your account or any other account? My account only. If it is on other account, select the second option and here you need to give 12-digit ID. Seeing a 12-digit ID. For example, if you want to copy files from my bucket to my friend bucket, my friend account is different, my account is different. Copy the 12-digit ID and you can provide here. And you can provide the bucket name also. Okay. But here currently it is on my account only. Click on this bucket. Click on this browse. I want to copy the objects to bucket number 1 or bucket number 2. Select this one. Is it done now? Next, IAM role. So basically you don't know what is the meaning of IAM as of now. So click on create a new role. What I'm clicking on? Click on save. That's it. It is telling that you want to replicate existing objects or do you want to replicate new objects? If I don't want to replicate existing objects, click on no. No, sir. Already, if I have some objects in my bucket, those also want to replicate. Click on the yes. Okay. Just come back. Currently, go to bucket number 1. Try to upload any 2 files or like any 1 file also fine. Both of the buckets are having any files here. I'm uploading file number 1. Uploading file number 2. 2 small files I'm uploading. In which bucket I'm uploading? Bucket number. Automatically, it is going to replicate to bucket number 2. Check it out. It won't come immediately. Wait for a few seconds. It will come. Like roles you are going to see in the IAM concept, Sunil. You'll get the clarity there. Seeing the objects now? Where I upload the objects, sir? In bucket number 1. But where is replicating? Now if I try to upload new object, is it going to come again? Check it out. This time I'm uploading this object, prod 3. Close. Go to bucket number 2. Wait for a few seconds. It won't replicate immediately. It will take some time. Is it came now? How it is replicated? With the help of the concept called CRR. CRR means cross region. Why we need to use cross region replication? To replicate the objects from one region to another region. For that purpose, you need to create the replication rule in the S3. Clear now? Fine. So next, if I upload object on bucket number 2, is it going to replicate to bucket number 1? It won't. Why? Because we haven't configured. You configured from bucket number 1 to bucket number 2. But if you upload an object in bucket number 2, it won't go for bucket number 1. Why? Because there is no configuration from 2 to 1. Can we do it? Will you tell me the process? Let's go. First of all, I need to go for management. So here click on replication rule. Rule number, you can give whatever you want. I am giving rule number 2. So here status enable. Now I need to choose here apply all objects. So first option or second option. Why? Because my bucket is on my account only. I need to select the first option only. So click on browse in the browser. What is my destination now? 1 or 2? Current bucket is 2, destination bucket is 1. Role, I'm gonna click on create a new role. Save. Now it is going to ask, do you want to replicate existing objects? If you want, click on yes. If you don't want, no. Click on submit. Now what you are going to do, you are going to upload the object on bucket number 2. It is going to replicate on. Click on add files. This time I'll select one new file. This PEM file I'm uploading. This PEM file I'm uploading on which bucket? It is going to replicate on bucket number immediately, or it will take some time. Wait. I got it now. New object. So in this way, you can able to create the replication rules. No, sir, if you want to stop replicating, how to stop replicating? Management. Replication rule are you seeing? Delete this one. Now it won't replicate anymore. Okay, like that. So in real time, as a DevOps point of view, we use bucket to store the object. That's it. Apart from that, we don't do anything. Okay. And again, if you have cloud team separately, they will take care of it. But in your organization, you are going to work on both cloud and DevOps, means you need to know about this concept. Okay. So you got the clarity of bucket now? What is bucket? To store the objects. What is an object? Object is nothing but which consists of data. Have I shown you how to upload all the objects? What is the minimum storage of bucket? 0 bytes. Maximum 5 TB. What is the limit of bucket? 100. But maximum we can exceed up to. What are the 5 rules to create a bucket? Rules. First of all, rule number 1 will be unique name. Rule number 2, lowercase. And what is the minimum max characters? 3 to 63 is the minimum character. And like, can we use uppercase? And bucket should not be on IP address format. So these are the rules. Correct or not, sir? Fine. If you want to filter based upon time, based upon value, based upon like ABC, how you are going to filter it? Double click on the panel, right? You know how to copy the object from one bucket to another bucket? How to check the total size of bucket, you know? That's it, fine. And how to replicate the buckets from, one region to another region? By using CRR. CRR means cross region. Use it to replicate the objects from one region to another region. But both buckets need to enable versioning. Otherwise, it is not going to happen. There is a concept called SRR also. Which one? CRR means cross region replication. SRR means same region replication. That means my bucket is on AP South 1. It is CRR. No, sir. My first bucket is on US East 1. Second bucket is also US East 1. It is what we can call as CRR. That is the difference between CRR and SRR. Fine then. So now here, sir, you said that with the help of bucket, we can store up to 5 terabytes of data, right? But in how many ways we can store means there is a concept you need to understand here. See, in bucket, if you want to upload the object, there will be n number of options. First one is by using SDK. SDK means software development kit. By using API, you can upload the object. By using CLI also. Already we seen API in last class for Kops, if you remember. I shown it or not, sir? AWS S3 API create bucket. Huh? By using APIs, you can upload the object by using SDK and by using, if you use above 3 options, the maximum size you can upload is 5 GB. How much? But if the object is more than 5 GB, API will not work, SDK will not work, CLI won't work. So in that case, if the object is more than 5 GB, you can upload from the console, AWS S3 console. Console means just now I shown you, right? That is the limit of 160 GB. How much? No, sir, if the file is more than 160 GB, if it is on terabyte format, so in that case, again, we need to use SDK, API, or sir, previously you said that SDK, API, CLI limit is 5 GB. How much? But if it is more than 160 GB, again, you are asking to use SDK, CLI, or API. What is the difference means? I'll tell you. See, for example, first one is single operation. That means at a time, you can upload 5 GB. First one. Second one is multi-part upload option. Which one? That means if I have 5 terabytes, first I'm gonna break it to some small piece. Second, I'm gonna break it to some small piece. Third, I'm gonna break it to. That means I can use a multi-part upload. If the object size is more than terabytes, we can use multi-part upload. What we can use, sir? But don't worry, we don't upload the objects in terabytes in real time. Okay, we upload maximum GB format only. If you ask in our organization, we use var file storage. What we use? The maximum size of var file is going to be 2 GB in our real time. If not 2 GB, 3 GB or 4 GB. For that purpose, we can use console upload and we can use API CLI SDK also. Correct or not, sir? You have seen console upload. You have seen API also. In upcoming days, I'm going to show you CLI. So there is a concept called CLI. In CLI, I'm going to show you that. Is the concept of bucket clear for you now? So that's it for the AWS bucket. In tomorrow's class, I'm going to show you the concept of elastic load balancer. Which concept? So already load balancer you've seen on Kubernetes, right? But that is automation load balancer. Which one? In tomorrow, I'm going to show you the load balancer concept manually. Like how to create the load balancer manually, how to configure to our servers, and how to distribute the load to our servers. I'll tell this on tomorrow's session. So that's the end of the session for today. So now if you are having any doubts or any queries, you can ask both online and offline. For node, already I have given the notes for you, Sunil. If you want pod, I'll show you how to use it. And it's not a part of your syllabus, but you asked me, right? I'm going to show you. So Sunil, you can use this code for it. It's not uploading there. Wait. But I'll send you a file for you, Sunil. Give me a second. I have given the document for you, Sunil. Like you can refer the document for you. Sir, how to use them to pay my bills? Question is not clear, Nikita. Can you show me once how to use them to pay my bills? Like you are asking to how to pay the AWS billing. Sir, in real time, we can work on S3. Yes, definitely, Venkatesh. We need to work on S3. So basically, if you want to pay the billing, go to your account, go for billing and cost management. So here you can check the bills actually. So for this bill, like I got almost all $6.10. Okay, almost all. So if you want to see the payment information, click on here. So currently there is no payments like you have done. So if you want to do payment, so first of all check for which service, which billing you got. Almost all for EC2, I got the billing of $5.6. Okay, go for payments here. So here currently your invoice is pending. If you click on complete payment, so now you can go for the payment section and you can provide your card details, payment method, details, summary, everything you can check here. Okay. So use net banking or you can use credit or debit card. So if you want to use credit card or debit card, click on this one. So enter your details here. Already your card details have been saved initially. Give the details one more time. And at last click on add card and you can pay the billing for it. I hope it is clear for you, Nikita. But I suggest not to pay the bill. First of all, don't pay the bill, Nikita. Like sorry, it's not Nikita, it's Nikhil. Sorry. So Nikhil, no need to pay bill, Nikhil. Why? Because even if you don't pay the bill, so like it's not going to happen anything for you. So I'll suggest not to pay any bill for you. How to use my AWS credits? First of all, like what kind of credits you got, Nikhil? You still online, any doubts or any queries from your end? And in the meanwhile, offline, any doubts or any queries from your end about S3? No, right? Fine. And one more thing, like all of the topics what we have covered, like in this course, if anything is pending, like might be one or two topics might be pending. I'm not sure about why because dealing with this many batches, I might forget one or two concepts. If any concept is not completed for, just let me know. I'll try to cover. Mostly we covered all of them, but if anything is pending from my end, okay, just let me know. I'll cover it for you. Yeah, Sunil. Yeah, I got it. So today I need to tell the entry point, but okay, fine. I'll tell it tomorrow. Definitely, let's remind me tomorrow. I'll tell the entry point example for you. That's what I'm saying, right? We still need to cover it today, but unfortunately, it's not happened. I'll cover it tomorrow definitely. But remind me before the class ends, okay? Or remind me before the class starts. Not only this one, if anything is pending, like if you find anything is pending point of view, just let me know. Mm. Mm. Kubernetes we won't use, right? That's the reason we are using KOps. What is KubeADM multi-node cluster? KOps also? Oh, then one thing is fine. No need to use all of them. Any one cluster is fine. Either KubeADM or KOps. In our course, I teach you KOps actually, which is more advanced than KubeADM. Okay. EKS is cloud-based. See, that's what I'm saying. Clusters will be any type. There will be a number of cluster types. So in our course, which cluster I taught you? Two, Minikube and KOps. So some companies will use KOps and some companies will use EKS. But if you use EKS, what exactly happens is you need to pay the bill for AWS for using that service. But for Kops, am I paying any bill? Any one is enough. It can be EKS or it can be KOps. Any one thing is enough. If you want to prepare yourself, fine. So what you can do is go for the official documentation here. Just type EKS. Are you seeing this one? So it is the AWS official documentation. If you want to practice on yourself, refer this documentation. Okay. So here they will tell you how to install the EKS and how to work with it. So go for type this one. EKS setup. I seen this one. So EKS, create your cluster of EKS. Are you in the steps here one by one? So you can use this one and you can able to download EKS like same. We use Kops cluster, but here what I'm using, right? There we use kubectl, but here we use EKS-ctl. That is the only difference. Apart from that, everything will be same. Are you seeing this one? Namespaces? Seeing or not? So like this. So click on create a cluster. Here you can see how to create the cluster with the help of EKS. Okay. But I won't recommend. KOps is far more advanced than EKS actually. Got the point? Sorry? No, no, no. Not all people will use EKS. That's what I'm saying. So lot of the organizations will use KOps also. Just research which one is highly advanced, EKS or KOps. You'll get the clarity. Okay. But at the end of the day, both will be clusters, both commands and everything will be same. There you use kubectl, but here what you are using, that is the only difference. Okay. If you learn KOps, you can work on EKS also because commands will be same, right? That's it. When you will tell automation top, Venkatesh, I think you haven't joined on the initial session. Today, what we have discussed, automation of KOps script only, right? I think you joined lately, Venkatesh. We covered this today, actually. Sure, Matkara, please ping your admin. Okay, and they will tell you like when the Maven and Jenkins, basically Maven and Jenkins is done. So next batch means it's almost all after Pongal only. Definitely, I'm going to teach you like how to build your resumes. I'll take one separate class for it and I'm going to tell you how to build your own resumes, okay? Based upon your previous experience and current knowledge. So fine then. So are we good for today? Any doubts or any queries still? Okay then. So let's meet on tomorrow's session. Have a great day. Bye.